I was moved to go to Texas and help with the situation at our southern border after our pastor Dave Shaw and 4 other volunteers traveled there this past summer. Upon their return, the heartbreaking stories they shared made me want to get involved. Maybe it also had something to do with being a first-generation American, my parents having emigrated from Sweden and Norway in the 1950s. On October 3rd, Janet Frick, Roxanne Kent, and I boarded a plane to Texas. After transferring in Houston, we arrived in Brownsville, which is located at the very southern tip of Texas, just across the Rio Grande from the town of Matamoros, Mexico. On our first day of service, we drove to Iglesia Bautista, a very active church in Brownsville, which headed by Pastor Navarro and his wife Diana, and a team of volunteers helps the migrants who've just been released from the camps. These people get a shower, shave, a bag of toiletries, a new set of clothes, and their papers and bus or plane tickets, which their relatives have sent to help them begin their journey in the United States. While at Iglesia Bautista, Janet, Roxanne, and I helped sort clothing, fill backpacks with toiletry items, and played with the children and held crying babies while their parents took much appreciated showers. One of the men was about to board the van to begin his new life when he was overcome with emotion and burst into tears while thanking the pastor's wife for the first shower he had taken in 5 months. Members of Union Cong were gracious enough to donate funds so we were able to buy belts, shoelaces, clothing, many over-the-counter medical supplies, water, and toys and trinkets for the children. One evening, a gentleman asked for vitamins, and I regretfully told him we had none. This would be a good idea to provide for the asylum seekers, as their nutrition is lacking at the camps. Gallon jugs of bottled water are also needed, as our impression was that many are dehydrated. For 5 evenings, Janet, Roxanne, and I met with other volunteers from Team Brownsville at La Plaza, the bus station in Brownsville, and loaded wagons with food, water, and other supplies and made the less than half-mile walk across the bridge to Mexico. People there sleep in pup tents. That's a short video of us feeding the people. I'll just wait a second. People there sleep in pup tents too small to stand in, with the luckier ones having yoga mats to lie on instead of the concrete. Team Brownsville tries to bring over a few yoga mats and tents every night, along with shoes, clothing, and Bibles that had been requested. While we were there, we met a woman who was starting a soccer clinic at the camp, so we also brought in several soccer balls along with a pump. Our first night crossing, there were over 1,000 people waiting to be fed, and when all the food was gone, 100 went without. I was often on drink duty, and the Kool-Aid they served would at times run out before the food. This broke my heart. Upon sharing this with Roxanne, she reassured me, "We can't save everyone, but we can certainly help a few." At other times, I would get stressed over not being able to pour the drinks fast enough as there were so many people. Then I would look over at Janet and notice her smiling as she passed out each cup. Where are you, Charlie? This helped me keep the big picture in mind. The second evening we served dinner, there were significantly less people on the food line. We later learned there were other camps along the river, but could never really understand why the numbers fluctuated so from day to day, because then on the third day there were more people again. When we would hand out a plate of food or drink, we received many gracias and even some thank yous, especially from the children who were less inhibited about speaking a little English. It was heartwarming to see and meet volunteers coming from all over the country and Europe as well. One night we worked alongside a man and woman from Germany, and they were in that video serving the food. The asylum seekers are fleeing dangerous situations in their countries of Central America and Mexico, only to arrive at the bridge in Matamoros, where they come to a dead halt. My last evening there, I spoke to 2 Honduran women in my limited Spanish. One had a pretty little daughter with her and told me it had taken them 1.5 months to make a very difficult journey. She was awaiting with anticipation her hearing coming up the following week. The other woman had just had her hearing the day before and now would have to wait over a month until the next one. Sorry. I told them our church would pray for them. Afterwards, I wondered if the idea was just to keep postponing these people's requests for freedom. Currently, there's a plan in the works to help the asylum seekers called Dignity Village. Sturdier structures will be built to house the migrants who are waiting at the border. Children have been catching pneumonia, and as of late, desperate parents have been sending them across the border alone to receive medical attention and hopefully reunite with their relatives in the United States. What a heartbreaking dilemma this is. Funds received will help with better medical attention, sanitation, and shower facilities so the people won't have to bathe and wash their few clothes in the river. The numbers at the border are swelling. This is a true humanitarian crisis, and I hope each of you will be able to help in your own way, either by donating supplies or funds through our Christmas offering this year, or going there in person, of course. Thank you for helping these people, our brothers and sisters.